Let's take a peek at this. We are on GS Pinsetters. Oh, by the way, good morning, everybody. The complaint we have is that every once in a while, this is lane number 8, that's lane number 7. Every once in a while, lane 8 will, from what they're saying, randomly recycle or randomly cycle. Obviously, we've got some ball impact damage here, but let's check the adjustment before we do anything first. So the way that I do this and the way that I was shown is that we're gonna grab something, could be like a business card, a fun card, credit card, whatever. We are going to begin blocking this reflector off. Well, we're watching down here to see when that red light goes on. So right here, our red light is on. I'm barely covering this reflector. What, 10%, 15%? We should be able to cover about 3/4 of the reflector in any direction. So top to bottom, bottom to top, front to back, back to front. At least 3/4, ideally 3/4 of the reflective surface should be covered before that light turns on. We don't have that, so we've gone out of adjustment for sure. So let's crawl over here, spelunk back. What we need to do is we need to adjust these screws so that the beam is pointing. We're going to shift the beam. Right now the beam's maybe pointing at like the front edge of the reflector. We need to bring it back in more towards the center. The easiest way to do that from where we're at, we're going to turn, I've got the wrong bit on here. We're going to turn this screw on the front side. We're going to turn it clockwise if we're looking at the face of it. That's going to take that reflector head and pitch it like that. How far we need to go is kind of unknown at this point, but let's do, I don't know, like a half turn and retest. So we're covering and moving forward, well, towards the rear of the machine. Right there. That's where it just turns on. I backed it up just a little bit. Look at that. About 3/4 or more is being covered. That's good. Let's check top to bottom. I'm going to slowly move the card down and block the reflector. Let's watch when that turns on. Right there. Yeah, it's kind of okay. Could it be a little better? Sure. Let's go bottom up. Slowly. Right there. That's pretty good. Okay. Well, we're still pretty good. We're a whole lot better now. And I think that this will run without any further issues. So let's zoom in here. Let's get a little closer. Get my elbow out of the way. If you need to go up or down, you adjust these 2 rear screws. If you need to go side to side, then you will adjust this one. We can take a look in the service manual. I can show you guys that information also, but I figure it's just kind of easier to get down here and do it real quick, and not have to get too super technical about it. Here's the picture in the book regarding these adjuster screws. I mean, to me it seems pretty self-explanatory, but just to cover all of the bases and so everybody understands. So screw number 3, horizontal adjustment. Screw number 1, vertical adjustment. Screw number 1, vertical adjustment. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but the key is being able to test the adjustment. And that's really where that business card, credit card, whatever, blocking the reflector off technique is a huge help. That way you're not guessing, that you know for sure you're set where you want it. I did notice this table motor was a little bit bouncy when it was running. Everything's looking good here with the motor, and it's most of its related parts. I did check the belt for cracks and breaks and didn't find any. A lot of the bounce is coming from, where is it? There's a seam where they seam the belts together. That seam is just a little bit fatter than the rest of the belt. But that's not helping. This spring is stretched out also. Let me put it up to the light. Can you see light through there? You see how it's kind of stretched? We're gonna replace this spring as well. That should be a big help. The distributor motor was bouncing a little excessively as well. These distributor motor belts go out at a much higher frequency than the other belts because the distributor is running a lot longer. Pretty much as long as people are bowling, it's running. So it's going to get more wear and tear on it than the sweep motor belt or the table motor drive belt. So let's go ahead and pop this thing off. I'm not sure I can do it holding a phone in one hand. But what I'm going to do, the way I do it, I'm going to lift up on the motor, and then I'm going to walk the belt into the second V. Then I'm going to lift the motor and walk it out of the second V. And then snake it through this little teeny tiny opening right here and go grab a new one. The spring on this distributor motor is fine. It's not spongy. If you hold it up to the light, you can see it's not stretched out. So we know that in this case, we have a belt that's probably starting to break. Let's see if I can smush that right through there. There we go. Huh. Weird. I'm not seeing any breaks yet. Crazy. There it is. Just a little one right there. Nothing major, but yeah, I'm still going to change it out. So we have plenty of springs in stock. This is good. Yeah, check it out. Let me see if I can zoom out. The spring on the left is our stretched spring, and the spring on the right is brand new. Oh, and it's easy to confuse the springs for the setting table motor with the other springs that are used on the sweep and distributor motors. I know it's hard to read, but this is the part number for the distributor motor spring. Hold on, I need two hands to open this bag up. They are definitely not the same springs, although it would be easy in a pinch to get them mistaken. The one on the right, it's a slightly larger gauge steel, and it is slightly longer. So yeah, fair warning, try not to mix them up. What I've seen in some maybe more extreme cases is a worn spring and a bouncy kind of a belt. You'll see the table as it lifts up, it kind of starts to stutter and it makes this horrible clickety clankety clackety noise. Yeah, it's not awesome, but usually when that happens, that spring has a significant amount of stretch in it. So let's watch our belts run. I'm in 10 pin right now. Oh, we're still off from the rear switch. Hold on 1 second. Well, I guess we'll watch from this angle. A little bit of bounce, not bad. Not bad. kind of normal. That one's still got a little bit of shake on it. It's not terrible. Better than it was. But again, the way these belts are seamed together, that seam is usually a little bit wider. And that's what's causing the vibration. It's been nearly a week since we've made the repair to that micro switch mounting plate, and the game doesn't appear to be rebooting anymore, so I think that we can call that a confirmed fix. Just for some simple reasons, like basketballs, it may not be a good idea to have a game with a marquee like Hyper Pitch right next to it. That wood backing plate is completely broken. We've tried gluing it back together with some good wood glue, and it's just not holding up. That's too bad. I don't know how much that thing costs, but we may have to replace the entire thing. Would you like to know why these basketballs for NBA hoops say inflate 2 to 3 pounds? I'll show you why. Because if you don't, they're going to explode. It's always a good idea to test your games on a regular basis. This one, we had no multiplayer or start button function. I popped the panel off. The switch assembly for multiplayer had fallen out, and the black wire here for start switch circuit, wire broke, lost the wire end. Crazy. We're gonna put some new light bulbs in there too while we're here. The number of these is, I believe, 161. So like GE 161 times 2. This should be better now. This front panel's cracked, I know. I have some more on order. They just haven't come in yet. So let's coin the game up and let's make sure both of these function properly. That looks good. Well, it won't go into multiplayer because we don't have that side coined up, but yeah, looking good. Function is correct.